to sit, I call this Mermaid, but you're going to sit with your feet turned to the side and the top shin is laying in the instep of the bottom foot. And you can keep your eyes closed just to stay mindful, keeping the attention on the breath. And then bringing both hands to the bottom thigh, lift up through your core and revolve to look behind you. Just follow the breath. Paying your attention to the inhale, deepening the exhale. And as you inhale, come back to center. And then we're going to place the bottom leg, because I didn't name which side it was, the same hand down on the side. Lift the other arm up, side stretch it. So the hand on the floor, the elbow will bend. You're going to try and revolve the rib cage. So the top side of the ribs are going to turn up towards the sky. Coming back up, bring your feet back to the front, turn to the other side. So again, hands go to the bottom thigh, lift up through your core, revolve to look behind you. Bringing the breath in nice and deep. Relax the shoulders, looking over your back shoulder. Inhale, come back to center. Take the hand down to the floor, bend the elbow, reach the top hand up and over. And then coming back to center, and then come and sit on your knees. This is Thunderbolt or Vajrasana. So sitting on your heels, but don't let your heels roll out, sort of sickle out to the side. You want flats of your feet down, heels pointing as directly up as possible. If this is too uncomfortable through the knees, you don't need to sit like this, but it's a nice little stretch across the front of the knees. Sit up nice and tall with your strap. Take the strap wide so you can have straight arms. And then lowering, so without having to bend the arms, so taking the strap as wide as you need to drop the hands behind you with straight arms. Then inhale, back up. Exhale, coming forward. And then you can go at your own pace. Inhale up. Exhale down. And then lifting the strap up, leaning to one side, so pulling the strap apart and trying to come down in one plane, so you're not folding forward, lifting it back up. Other side, pull the hands apart, lifting back up, bring the strap. Then coming to lie on your front for a moment. So you're going to take the left arm out, have the right hand beside your face with the elbow up. You're going to roll onto the outside of the left hip, so stretching through the front of the chest and the shoulder. So using the right hand to leverage open, and you can drop the right foot behind you, bending the knee. If it doesn't go all the way over, that's fine, but just to where you feel that stretch through the top, the left shoulder. If it feels good, you can walk the fingers up or down, whichever of the left hand, if you're feeling particular tightness. And then rolling back to center, other side. So the left hand up on the left fingertips, roll onto the right hip, bend the left knee, drop the toes behind. Again, if you want to play with the angle of the arm to help. And then rolling back onto your front, coming to your knees and come to the front of the mat. So we're going to do quite a few poses today that are on our knees. So if you need to pad your knees, then make sure you've got cushion or a towel or something to help with that. So 2 rounds of Surya Namaskar A and 2 rounds of Surya Namaskar B. Standing in mountain. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, hands up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway lift, pressing the palms into your shins, lift the chest, lift the tailbone. Exhale, palms down, stepping back, roll into plank, drop your knees if you need to, hug the elbows to the rib cage, lowering down. Inhale to cobra, so draw the shoulder blades down your back, gently press the pubic bone in and the tops of the feet. Exhale, lying down, then tuck the toes under, lift the hips, come into down dog. Take 3 breaths. You can paddle your heels slowly to feel through the backs of the legs. Press into the index finger and the thumb. Inhale, up on your toes, bend your knees, look forward, come forward to halfway lift. Extend the spine and exhale, fold. If you can't reach your hands to the mat, you can either bend your knees so that you can bring your belly to your thighs, relax your head, fingertips on the mat, or you can straighten your legs and hold onto your elbows, whichever feels good for you. So then releasing the arms down, inhale, coming up, hands up, Urdhva Hastasana, palms together, exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Look up at your thumbs. Exhale, folding forward. Think of the core, navel to spine. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, stepping back, rolling into plank. Roll the eye of the elbow forward so you can bend the elbows. Either lowering to cobra or up dog. Exhale, tucking the toes under, lift the hips up into down dog, 3 breaths. So use down dog to regulate the breath. Keep the mouth closed, drawing the breath through the nostrils. Inhale, up on your toes, bend your knees, look forward, step, hop, jump, forward to halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rising up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart center. So For those of you with a Good Morning Yoga this morning, we did a little sort of mini workshop on Sun Salute B, which was chair pose and warrior one. So we're going to go through that here. So we're inhaling to chair pose. You can either have your arms forward or up beside your ears, depending on how your shoulders feel. Draw the shoulder blades down your back. Look up at your thumbs. Tuck. It's almost as if there's a magnet between your tailbone and your heels. Then exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, step back, lowering through chaturanga. So low press up. Inhaling up to up dog or cobra. Exhale to down dog. Warrior one. So turning the left foot out, bring the right foot behind you, knee to nose. Right foot comes between your hands, coming up into warrior one. So make sure the right knee is above the right ankle, hips turn to the front. If it's too intense through the back foot, you can come up onto the ball of the foot. Bring your arms up, palms together. Draw the shoulders down, shoulder blades down your back. Then exhale, palms down, step back, roll forward into plank, lowering through chaturanga. Inhale to up dog or cobra. Exhale to down dog. So warrior one on the left side, left leg lifting up, roll into plank, knee to nose. Left foot between your hands, drop the right heel down. Warrior one. It's actually all normally in one breath, but taking our time. Exhale, palms down. Stepping back. Hug the forearms towards each other, lowering chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale to down dog. 3 breaths. So just taking a break when you need to. Some people have done less yoga than others, so if you need down dog or child's pose, and then just catch up with us. Up on your toes, bend your knees, look forward. Come forward to halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Inhale to chair pose. Squeeze your thighs, lifting up. Palms together. Exhale. Hands to heart center. One more. Inhale. Chair pose. Exhale. Fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back. Roll into plank. Lower to cobra or up dog. Then lifting the hips, coming into down dog. Warrior one on the right side, bring the right foot between the hands, drop the left heel down. Make sure the back toes are pointing slightly forward so you can revolve the hips level with the front of the mat. Bring your arms up, sink your hips. Look at your thumbs. Exhale, palms down, step back. Roll into plank, lower through chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale to down dog. Warrior one on the left side. Bring the left foot between your hands, drop the right heel. Coming up. Exhale, palms down, stepping back, lowering to cobra or up dog. Exhale, tuck the toes to down dog. 3 breaths. Inhale, up on your toes, bend your knees, look forward. Come forward to halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend your knees. Chair pose. Lifting up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart center. Well done. Move this a bit. Can't quite see. Okay. So coming down into tabletop. So place your hands well. Index fingers pointing forward and then the fingers spreading out from there. We're going to come into, we're going to wake the core up. So pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. Press up through your palms, straight arms. Feel as if you're pressing out between the shoulder blades and then lift your knees. Just a couple of inches off the mat. Draw the navel up and in. Draw the shoulders towards your waist. And then exhale, lower the knees. We're going to tuck the left toes under, take the right leg behind you. And then we're going to, I should do side on, you can see. So right leg behind you, roll the thigh under you so the knee and toes are pointing down. Take the leg out to the side and then place the foot down in line with the knee and come up. So you want the foot in line with the knee, but you want the whole of the foot pressing down into the mat. See if you can get the outer edge down. Hands to your hips first. So gently, you don't want to ram your hips forward because that's not good for your sacroiliac joint. So just lift the pelvic floor and gently pressing that thigh forward. And then you're going to, should have said, you might need the block, but you might not. Is that you're going to reach down to the mat or the block and then reach the top arm up and over. So you're pressing, make sure the outer edge, that little toe on the straight leg is pressing into the mat and then reach up. And you want to roll your ribs up to the ceiling. So you're looking up under your armpit. Feel the side stretch, that length in the body. And then coming back up, hands to hips. Bring the knees back together. Tabletop. Going to take the right leg back and the left arm forward. So the palm faces inwards. The leg and the arm should be at shoulder, hip height. Roll the right thigh under so the foot is flat, the toes are pointing down. Keep the breath coming in nice and even, pushing up through the right palm. And then change sides. Bring the right knee next to the left. Take the left leg back. Roll the thigh under so the hips are level. Point the toes down, reach the right arm forward, palm facing in. Squeeze the core. Get length between the front hand and the back foot. Exhale, release once more, each side. So right leg back, left arm forward. Other side, left leg back, right arm forward. And then come back to tabletop. And we're going to do, stay where you are, but we're going to, it's gate pose, this one. So you're going to lift the right leg back again, just as we did before. Take the leg out to the side, foot down, but now you're going to spin onto the heel and flex. So as you come up, the heel should be in line with the knee. Flex the foot. And this time you're going to slide the right hand down the right leg, lift the left arm up. And the same thing that you want to be, have the shoulders in line with the hips. So don't allow that front shoulder to roll forward. You want to open the rib cage to the ceiling. Inhale, come up, bring the knees together, coming back to tabletop. Take your hands towards the front of the mat, come up into down dog. Lift your hips. Lift the right leg up, lower the left heel, three-legged dog. Roll forward, knee to nose. So into plank, bring your knee to your nose, you're up on the left toes. And then take the right leg back up, lower the left heel. Roll forward into plank, bring the right knee to the left elbow. Squeeze the heel to your bottom. Puff out between your shoulder blades. Lift the right leg back up. Roll forward into plank again, right knee to right elbow. Press through the palms, the index finger and the thumb pressing down. And then lift that leg back up. If it's too intense, you can do this from tabletop. Bring the feet next to each other, down dog. Then we're going to come back into tabletop. So now we're going to do the other side. So you're going to take the left leg behind you, roll the hip and the thigh under you, take the leg out to the side, come into gate pose. So left foot, toes pointing forward, the foot's in line with the knee, hands to your hips first, so gentle pressure of the hips forward. And then if you needed the block to the side, come to the block, reach the top arm up and over. So that side stretch, roll the rib cage open. The palm goes down. Inhale, come back up. We're going to come back to tabletop. Take the arms forward, lift into down dog. Inhale, lift the left leg, three-legged dog, lower the right heel. Roll that knee under you, the thigh under. Roll forward into plank, left knee to nose. You can come into tabletop if you need to. Then taking the left leg back up, lowering the right heel. Again, roll into plank, left knee to right elbow. You're right up on the right tiptoes. Taking the leg back up, lowering the right heel. Last one, roll into plank, left knee to left elbow. And then lifting that leg back up, come back into down dog. Lower the knees. Take the left foot back, take the leg out to the side, place the foot down, and then swivel onto the heel. So then flex at the ankle, really feel that stretch on the back of the body. Slide the left hand down the left leg, reach the top hand up and lean over. Rolling the rib cage open. Inhale, coming back to tabletop. Just sit back towards your heels, wide knees, and just come into a child's pose for a moment. Really settle between the thighs. Draw the tailbone towards your heels. Okay, then coming up onto your knees, come up into down dog. Roll into plank. Make sure, so we're going to go through some planks, chaturangas and so on. So you want the alignment to make sure you reach through the crown of the head and the heels. So feel that length through the spine, but slightly lift your hips, squeeze the thighs to the midline, puffing out between the shoulders. Then lifting back up into down dog. Okay, roll forward again. Holding in high plank. If you need to drop your knees, then that's fine. Squeeze the thighs to the midline. Feel the core engage. Okay, then lifting back up into down dog. We're going to come into plank again, but this time we're going to roll the feet to the side. So roll into plank. Keep your both hands on the floor, but roll onto the outside edges, looking to the left. So roll over to the right. And then you're going to lift the hips, come back onto your toes, roll over to the left. So pressing evenly through the palms. Once more each side, lifting up, dropping onto the sides of the feet, lowering the hips a little. You can do this again from your knees if it's too intense, or just take a rest. Come back to center, down dog. And then take a vinyasa, so roll forward into plank. You can drop your knees if you need to. Hug the elbows in, lowering to the mat. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, weight here. So now we're going to come into locust. So take your hands behind you. Resting the arms. So you want the backs of the hands down and the palms facing up. Cobra legs. So press the tops of the feet down. The legs are a little bit apart. Press the pubic bone down and then inhale, lift your hands and feet. Reach the hands towards the feet. Roll the thighs under you so the knees are pointing down. And the gaze is down. Keep the neck long. 2 more breaths. Exhale, lowering one cheek to the mat, relax. Then inhale, lift again into locust, reaching the arms back, roll the shoulders towards each other, thighs rolling under you. And then lowering the legs, bring your hands ready for cobra. So that means your hands are placed beside your rib cage. Hug your elbows in, draw them towards your waist. Inhale, cobra. So you don't want to come to straight arms. Hug the elbows in, keep the elbows bent, and the gaze can be up, but not just raising your eyebrows and lifting up. You want to draw the shoulders down, shoulder blades down your back. And it's like an upper back loop. It's like a curl. If you can't curl through the upper back, then just gaze forward. Okay, then come onto your forearms. Clasp your hands in front of you. Elbows should have your elbows under your shoulders. Tuck your toes under. Fire up your legs. And press up into forearm plank. So don't want hips too low, so you're bananaing, pressure on the lower back, not too high, but kind of that Goldilocks point. Okay, then drop your knees. Just lift your hips a moment. We're going to come back into forearm plank, and then we're going to do as we did in high plank. We're going to roll our hips from one side to the other. So come back into forearm plank, lift your knees, roll onto the outside of the feet, press up through the elbows, so strong through the shoulders, rolling to the other side. You're lowering the hips nearly to the mat, lift the hips up, roll to the right, last one to the left, come back to center, drop your knees, release the hands, just sit back in child's pose for a moment. You can even take your hands behind you with the palms facing up. Okay, then coming up into down dog. Roll forward into plank. Bring the right hand slightly in and slightly forward of your shoulder. Roll onto the outside edge of the feet. So you can have this is side plank, you can have the feet one in front of the other, or you can stack them together. Or if you need to modify, you can bring the top leg, place the foot in front. So that's your modification, is to bring this leg in front. Then hand to hip, or lifting that hand up, strong straight arm, squeeze the core up and in, squeeze the outer hips. One more breath, and then roll back round, lift up into down dog. So find the point. If it's too much and you feel that you're collapsing into the shoulder, then just bring your knees down or take the modification. It's not a competition. Get your breath back in down dog. And then roll forward into plank. Bring the left hand slightly forward of your shoulder and more towards the middle of the mat. Roll onto the outside edge of the feet. Hand to hip, or lift the hand up. Squeeze the thighs to the midline. Lift the hips slightly. Bring the breath in deep, then roll back round. Come into down dog. Drop your knees a moment. Sit back towards your heels. Come into child's pose. Okay. Coming up into forearm plank. How do we like plank, folks? Actually, doing core work is horrible, but if you stick with it, it's really helpful for your protecting your lower back and so on. So now you're going to roll, you're going to bring the right forearm across under you. So the right elbow under the right shoulder. Bring the hand under your face. Roll onto the sides of the feet. Again, you can place the left foot in front if that helps. Lift the top hand up. Really strong through the shoulders. So squeeze the thighs towards each other. Push up through the elbow. And then roll back round. Lift. If you can either drop your knees or you can lift into dolphin, which is to walk your feet in a little. Press through the forearms. Okay, then take the feet back. Forearm plank again, left side. Bring the left hand under your head. Have the left elbow under the shoulder. Roll onto the outside of the feet. Right hand to hip, or lift the arm up. Really lift up, push through the elbow, lift through the top hand, squeeze the hips. And then inhale, roll back round, come into child's pose for a moment and take your hands behind you. Okay, then come to lie on your front. So we're going to come, we'll do one leg first, but bow pose. So bend the right leg. Actually, yeah, you bend the right leg. So bring the left elbow under the left shoulder with the hand across under your face. Take the right hand back to take hold of the right foot. Lift the elbow up if you can. You'll draw, so you try not to sink through the shoulder here. Really pressing up through the forearm, drawing the foot towards your bottom. But gently press the hips down. So it's shoulder or collarbone stretch, as well as a quad stretch. So try and have the thighs reasonably parallel. Okay, and when we come out of it, don't just let that foot ping back. So just release, lower that leg down. Come to the other side. So make sure the hips, what we want to do is as you press the hips down, you'll feel that it engages your core muscles. So rather than sagging into a deep back bend, you've actually got more length in your core. So we're stretching, lengthening the core to protect the lower back. So bring in the right hand across in front of you, bend the left leg, take hold of the foot, so bend the elbow. So you're kind of rolling the left shoulder up, but trying to press the left hip down. You use your core, so it's engaged even though it's lengthening. And then slowly, gently release that leg. Settle the hips down. You can, if you can, did we lose someone? You can do full bow pose, is to bend both legs, take hold of the feet, but you want to activate the legs, so don't just pull the feet towards the bottom, you press the hips down, so push the feet into the hands this time, lift your chest, so feel, squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other, activate the core. So you're pushing into the hands and then lower the thighs down, release gently and just rest your head on your hands, roll the feet out. Okay, and then rolling onto your back and have your block near you. So line yourself up as if you're coming into bridge. So feet on the mat, knees bent. Bring your heels back towards your bottom so you can touch them with your hands. And then as you inhale, gently press the lower back into the mat and then lift your hips. And you want to take your block and whichever height, probably level 2 like this, but you might want to do a little bit lower. Just place the block at the sacrum, lower your heels So it's a supported bridge, so try not to let your knees fold out. So keep the thighs parallel, but just gently helping to soothe the core and the lower back. If it doesn't feel good, then you can just remove the block and just knock your knees together, have your feet a little bit apart. You can just relax your hands down, you can cactus your arms so your hands are above your head. Okay, then bringing that energy back into your thighs. So you're going to press through the soles of your feet, lift your hips, remove the block, and then lowering down vertebrae by vertebrae, resting the hips. And then we're coming to a more active bridge. So arms beside you with the palms facing down. And gently press the lower back into the mat, peel the hips up off the floor, press the knees away from you, gently squeeze your glutes. You can roll, so clasp your hands under you, you can lift each shoulder and roll the outer arm underneath, and then push your fist towards your heels, trying to keep the thighs parallel. And then exhale, remove the hands, arms beside you, gently lowering down, hips come down last. Then you're going to cross the right leg over the left knee, knees bent. Lift your hips to the right a little, take your arms out wide, and then drop the knees to the left. So trying to ground through the right shoulder. If it feels good, you can bring the right arm up, just curling it around your head, looking over to the right. And then bring the arms back down, lift the knees back to center, uncross the legs, bring your hips back to neutral, lift the left leg, cross over the right, lift your hips to the left a little, drop your knees to the right. Take your arms wide, look over to the left, you can lift the left arm a little. Okay, then bringing the arms back beside you, lift the knees up, uncross your legs, come back to center, roll to your side, come to sit up. So, as you can tell, we've been using the core, so now we've got a nice fire going on. We're going to have a little go at crow pose, if you like. So this is an arm balance. So if you haven't done it before, then we'll just do a preparation pose and you don't go any further than that. So have your block ready and you're going to, this is the prep pose, is to put your feet on the block, up on the balls of your feet, and then take your knees wide. Bring your palms down so they're just in front of your shoulders. And you almost want to squeeze the forearms towards each other as if you're dragging the hands inwards, and press the thighs. See how high up you can get. You want to sink your hips, try and get your arms, your thighs squeezing the tops of your arms. Look up, and then you'll come up onto your toes. This is just a prep pose, so don't go any further forward. Press into the palms. It's almost like you're grabbing with your fingerprints. And then come back. So you can just practice that a few times, and it's a bit like tree pose in that when you're in tree, if you lift your foot right up onto your thigh, you need to use your outer thighs. So that's where you need to be able to grip the outer thighs into the shoulder. So if you can still carry on using the block, but if you wanted to, those of you who've done it before, you sink the hips down, so it's almost like you're in a low squat, but with the heels up, palms down, hug the forearms so they're parallel, lift the chest, and the main thing is to look up. You can put the cushion in front of you if you want to, but if you look up, you won't do a forward roll. As soon as you put your head down, you might roll. And then try and do this. You can still be on the block, but it's a transfer of weight. So you can rock a little backwards and forwards, but feel that real interaction of the top of the arms and the thighs pressing in towards each other. Look up. If you can, you'll grab with your finger pads and the heels might float up. But it's the connection between the thighs. Well done. And it's try not to jump. You don't want to try and jump the feet up. Well done, Kate. Go, Alison. Very good. That's good. It's the action of you want to feel that you're able to squeeze the thighs inwards. Which is why the height helps, because it helps you get, if you don't have such mobility in your hips, you can get your knees a little bit higher, which is why the block helps. Squeeze your core. Okay, well done. Right, come back to lying on your back. Take your feet wide. And we're just going to take the arms wide. We're just going to windshield wiper the legs. So just using your breath, you'll exhale down the knees to one side. Inhale up. Exhale the other side. You can keep turning the head in the opposite direction or just keep gazing up to the ceiling. So it's just gently engaging the core and then releasing. And then bringing the legs into happy baby. So bend your knees, bring your arms between your thighs, take the outside edge of your feet, then lift your heels up and apart and draw the thighs down either side of your rib cage. So if you can lower the small of your back or your sacrum towards the mat. If you can, you'll just rock a little side to side. Okay, and then release the legs down, coming into Shavasana Relaxation. Taking the legs wide. If you want to put another layer on, pair of socks. Feeling that connection to the mat. So just feeling where you've got a bit of exposed skin, just feeling how whatever fabric is underneath your fingertips or against your arms, just being aware of that sensation. Being aware of the breath as it comes in. So not restricting it, but just noticing the sensation of the belly rising, the chest, the ribs spreading. That deepening of the relaxation as the breath leaves the body. Imagining your spine as a little trickling brook. So the water is leaving the earth at the base of your skull. And it's just slowly trickling over and around each vertebrae. You can hear that sound of it, that little tinkling. Gently rushing sound. And you feel the coolness of it. And as if you were floating, feel like the space between the vertebrae as the water starts to lift you. And even though you feel completely grounded, you feel the weight of your shoulders, your hips on the mat. Imagine now that the water is starting to lighten the hips. You feel that soft floating sensation. And if there was any tightness left in your body, just imagine the water softly flowing over that area, giving it lightness. Releasing any tension from the muscles and releasing the joints. And even the water is supporting your head. You can feel any outside noise is just muffled. You can hear that amplification of your own breathing. And the water lifts you up and gently carries you to the mossy bank where it lies you down. You can feel the sponginess of it, the softness as the water trickles away. You can feel the sun on your body, that dappled light of the trees flickering through your eyelids. You're completely relaxed. So starting to move fingers and toes. Maybe you want to stretch your arms over your head. Nice long stretch through your legs. And then when you're ready, curling onto your right side for a moment. Keeping your eyes closed, pressing yourself up into a seated position, facing me. Sitting nice and tall. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling completely. Bring your palms together at your heart center. Lowering your head and opening your eyes. Namaste.